mi tierra mexicana. Yo le canto a sus volcanes, a sus praderas y flores, que son como talismanes del amor de mis amores. México lindo y querido, sigo lejos de ti, que digan que estoy por mis volcanes.
Bienvenidos, welcome to Grito Hispano, this segment of Va Con Todo at North Omaha, Fort Omaha. I am Jose Garca, and welcome to Los Días de los Muertos Omaha. This art exhibit is brought to you by, I gotta do the commercial first, our sponsors are the Mexican American Historical Society, U.S. Bank, the Nebraska Humanities Council, the Nebraska Arts Council, the Nebraska Cultural Endowment, the Omaha Public Library, Nebraska Story Arts, and everyone that has been a patron of the Mexican American Historical Society over the years. Soy Jose Garca, welcome to Los Gritos. I screwed that up. Welcome to Los Días de los Muertos, Stories by Heart, a art and exhibition and a installation that celebrates and commemorates the Dia de los Muertos. Comes to you from the Metropolitan Community College, Mule Barn, Building 21. We started our opera here October 5th and it's going until November 2nd. And before this program is over, I want to make sure that I brief you as to our grand finale, which will happen November 2nd. What I have in front of me are some of the artwork that is exhibited. I'm a third generation Muertos Omaha. My mother and father were born in the United States. My grandparents on both sides of the family were Mexican born. I didn't grow up with Dia de los Muertos. As a matter of fact, I didn't grow up with 16th of September. I didn't grow up with Cinco de Mayo. I knew nothing about Mexican culture. I knew about 4th of July. I knew about George Washington. I knew about Christmas, Thanksgiving Day. It wasn't until I became a soldier in the U.S. Army that I found out that there is more to being an American than apple pie. Okay, then I'm going to talk.
Voz de la guitarra mía, al despertar la mañana, quiero cantar de alegría a mi tierra mexicana. Yo le canto a sus volcanes, a sus praderas y flores, que son como talismanes del amor de mis amores.
Muertos for many, many years. But it wasn't until about 2006 when it really, really became real to us. This is an example of the lesson that we learned from a Mexican national. He is a dual citizen, actually, a Mexican and an American citizen. Martin Gerardo Correa Ramirez, who is from San Diego de Alejandría, Jalisco, came to Omaha and started a cultural center called Huicacali.
Come up with these giant,
We got to know Martin,
rolls of paper.
and before we knew it,
And
we
before
were
we
visiting
knew it,
him
he would
in
cut
Mexico, and he
this.
was teaching Linda just an incredible art object made purely of paper and cut paper, papel picado, as it's known in Mexico. Papel picado is an essential ingredient in los Días de los Muertos, and this is one example of that. Although as a Chicano, Linda Garcia Perez, who I married back in Los Muertos Omaha, is not just an art exhibit with art objects, with installations. We also have things that are typical for Dia de los Muertos in Mexico. One thing that is fun, that is satirical in Mexico, is that people get together, especially young people, and they do calaveritas. Calaveritas are little poems that are written between people, satirical. They make fun. They make light of people's professions, of their personality, and they're fun. They're kind of like Mexicans also like to call them dichos también. But these typewriters we have so people can do their calaveritas. Los Días de los Muertos Omaha is an art exhibit. We have over 19 artists that have created artworks and installations that reflect their view, their attitude, and their love of Dia de los Muertos. And behind me is some of those artworks. As a matter of fact, the hijada, Miss Smith, did this beautiful piece. And of course, we did receive funding from all of these sponsors that I mentioned before, but we also we really depend on la gente. We depend on people to help support what we do here at the Mexican American Historical Society. Y aquí tengo un puerquito. This is a little paper mache pig that we use to accept donations. Now this is a snapshot of an ofrenda. It is still under installation, as a matter of fact. This will not be a full ofrenda until November 1st and 2nd, which is All Souls and All Saints Day. This is when Dia de los Muertos is truly commemorated in memory of people that have passed, of our ancestors. This particular one is being organized, and it is dedicated to the Black Cowboys of Texas and to the Black Cowboys who, along with Mexican vaqueros, created cowboys in the United States of America. Long before Roy Rogers or Hopalong Cassidy or Tom Mix, there were the vaqueros, there were the black African-American cowboys. And this ofrenda is being installed in dedication and in memory of them. Los Días de los Muertos Omaha is involved in organizing quite a lot of ofrendas. We have about 5 of them right now. This particular one is being assembled as a homage to calaveras. You know, we have very typical flowers. These are marigolds. That is a Dia de los Muertos flower, and I'll talk about them a little later. Here we have a scene typical of how Mexicans see Dia de los Muertos. It's just part of everyday life. The true heart and soul of Dia de los Muertos is what happens in la casa, in people's homes, where they organize ofrendas, where they organize memories to their ancestors. This here is a print that De Jesus, a Chicago artist that is now living in Mexico, did that really illustrates the domestic side of Dia de los Muertos. We see a Mexican family, an indigenous family, somewhere in the countryside with their ofrenda, welcoming their ancestors back for a visit during November 1st and 2nd. And you can see that they're in the doorway, happy to have been able to find the ofrenda in their honor. So you ask me, well, how do the dead find their ofrenda? What do they use to guide them to an ofrenda that is commemorated in their honor? Well, one of the things that is used is the marigold. The marigold for many thousands of years in Mexico and Central America was known as the flower of the dead. The distinct odor of the marigold is said to guide the souls of the dead to come back and visit during the portal that is available November 1st and 2nd. And as you can see here, we have an ofrenda that is being built. It's still not finished, and it will not be a real ofrenda. And what is an ofrenda? It's an altar. As you can see, the beautiful cut paper that we use, this ofrenda uses 4 elements. There has to be 4 elements in an ofrenda. Number 1, you have to have earth. And the earth is the plants. The earth is the soul of the ofrenda. It's where things grow. It's where things become useful to man. The second thing that we use in an ofrenda is fire. Now the fire comes in the form of candles. Now we're not going to light any candles, and if in fact there's no candelabras yet, but candles will arrive right before November 1st so that that element can be in the ofrenda. The third thing is wind. Now we need wind because that's a natural element. Well, paper signifies this. As you can see, las banderitas, these are banderitas that are papel picado, signifies and represents wind. And we have another beautiful, large paper cutting by Martin Gerardo Ramirez Correa. As part of this ofrenda, we have a portal right here. It's like an archway, and behind the archway is a place that Mexicans call Mictlan, M-I-C-T-L-A-N. This is where the people that have passed away and want to join their relatives come through. And they're guided by the marigold, and they're guided by things that are favorite to them, offerings that are made of things that they were very fond of when they were alive. As an example, here is a figure that represents a street musician that was very dear to a family. And this is placed on the ofrenda as a welcoming, so that when the dead arrive and become part of the festivities, they'll be comfortable and they'll see familiar things. Another thing that an ofrenda has and should have is pan de muerto. Pan de muerto goes back thousands and thousands of years in Mexican archaeology and Mexican mythology. Pan de muerto was done as an offering to placate spirits. Like there was a spirit back thousands of years ago that was said to be the goddess that of women that died of childbirth. Well, people thousands of years ago would put bread offerings to appease the spirit. And of course that turned into what we do as mestizos, of offering as a sign of connecting to the past, to our pre-Columbian past. Another thing that is very important in putting together an ofrenda, we have earth, we have wind, we have fire, and we have water. Now the water is not here yet. That consecrates the ofrenda because it's a living entity. Water is the bridge. This is the liquid that makes life. And there will be a bowl of water on the ofrenda on November 1st and 2nd. This general ofrenda is being offered to 4 people. The first one is a Puerto Rican lady by the name of Pura Belpri. Pura Belpri was very, very important in helping children Spanish children in the East Coast learn how to read and read. She's a very, very important lady. And we offer a bit of this ofrenda to her memory. Another person that we offer this ofrenda to is a lady by the name of Nancy Duncan. Now, Nancy Duncan was a storyteller, a wonderful, beautiful woman who is the founder of Nebraska Story Arts. And we lovingly want to offer this ofrenda to her honor because we don't want her to die 3 times. And I'll explain that soon. We then honor another Hispana, another Latina, Isabel Schoen, who passed away March of 2011. Actually, she's not a Latina, but she was very responsible in helping Latinos learn the Spanish language through books, through reading. She started a huge library, and people around the world considered her an authority on Spanish language books. Also, this ofrenda is also dedicated to the memory of Gregorio Aguilera. Gregorio Aguilera era un Mexicano. He was a Mexican that came to Omaha, Nebraska, and founded one of the first commercial enterprises, Las Tres Banderas. It was a pool hall and also a place where people, Mexican, white, black, or brown, could come and sign up for work in the packing houses in South Omaha. Gregorio Aguilera was a very prominent man, and we want to honor his memory. He was the first director of the Chicano Awareness Center. He was one of the creators of the Sociedad Mutualista Mexicana. Gregorio Aguilera is loved by anyone that knows history and that knows the Mexican-American history of Omaha. Every Los Días de los Muertos in Omaha, Nebraska, Jose and Linda Garcia always pay homage to Jose Guadalupe Posada. Jose Guadalupe Posada era un Mexicano. He was a Mexican that single-handedly sustained the Dia de los Muertos movement as far as how it looked, the image of it. Here we see a print that was made by a very famous Chicago artist, a Chicano, Mexican-American artist named Cortez. Guadalupe Posada with the Catrina. This is an iconic image that is used over and over and over by thousands and thousands of artists and people that celebrate Los Días de los Muertos. We owe a deep debt